blessings and peace and salutations to all my brothers and sisters, especially you brothers. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me, so thank you. This is IAMFITPodcast, coming to you for the Boogie Down Bronx. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe button. Make sure you make yourself known. All right. I want to bring him in. Let's bring him in. Because we're going to have an interesting conversation today about toxic masculinity. What is it? And folks, I'm going to play some videos. I'm going to set some stages. I'm gonna, do what I need to do to kind of have this conversation. I see people coming in. I see 12 likes. I appreciate you. Just say shalom, say hello to make sure I know you're there. Let's see here. Try to make sure my chat is working. If somebody could just say shalom, peace, or blessings. I just want to make sure this thing is working. Everything is a go. Give me a thumbs up if my sound sounds good. I think everything sounds good. Everything is good. Everything is cost-effective. I just want to make sure we are good. Okay, it looks like we're good. All praises, all praises. So let's have this conversation, guys. Let's have this conversation. Because I think I suffered from this as well, where sometimes there's a misunderstanding. And sometimes there is a shame that does not have to be there. And what I'm talking about. Sometimes someone who's overly masculine, sometimes they're trying to hide something, compensate for something, right? But sometimes there is a shame of being masculine, as if you overdo it, or when is the proper time to be masculine? When it's not. Let's have that conversation. So I want to play some videos. I want to kind of set the stage. And this is a video, fair use. This is peace, Brother Michael. Shalom. Please, peace. Thank you for joining me. Okay, people coming in. Peace and blessings. So I'm going to play this quick video to kind of set the stage. I have the Zoom up. The Zoom is up, but I want to play the video. I want to kind of set the stage, and if you guys want to come in, you guys more than welcome. Any of the brothers from with the meeting that we had last week with Man Going God's Way, that was I consider a first a good success. Shout out to the brothers that came through. Okay. Shout out to those brothers. Matter of fact, if the brothers want, I know there was accent. Let me just see if I could. Yep. Brothers, I just text you guys the link on the phone. The super chat also is in the description beneath as well. But I want everybody to just hold on, because I want to play these videos. I want to kind of establish the blueprint. So basically, this is a video on basically asking the question, right? Toxic masculinity, rules of modern dating, understanding women. Okay, so let's just play the video. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's a 14-minute conversation, but I want to just play a little bit of it so people can understand what is out there in the streets, what these young people are saying. Fair use.
Taking leadership in a role, being in charge of situations, and then feminine energy, I would say it's more like, not entirely, but being more submissive, being led.
Not quite aggressive, but more like go-gettery. Whereas feminine energy tends to always be seen as a more caretakery.
So they're asking the question, what is, masculine energy? What is feminine energy, right?
I don't know. I feel like super safe and a little bit more like, Yeah, I feel safer
confident,
around masculinity.
masculine energy.
Femininity is more like happy.
We're happier.
Does a man have to be masculine in order to attract a woman?
For me, yes. Yes.
Does a woman need
And from 99.9% of all the women in the world, like, you're not special, honey. I mean, most women are attracted to masculine because they have high estrogen, right? Men have low testosterone, and these things are attracted to each other.
to be feminine in order to attract a man?
Yes, for me, yes.
Do you think women are more attracted to masculine or feminine men?
I believe more masculine.
You just feel safe.
I feel
like,
safe.
honestly, and it's just hot.
It's hot.
Definitely more attracted to masculine.
What do you think women find attractive about a man in touch with his masculinity?
How confident he can be, how sure he is of himself. He can lead her. Go back to being what I said, leading her in a certain direction, taking charge of certain situations, being protective. It's that whole protect, provide nature.
That he's able to like care for me and like protect me when we're out in public.
He's a provider. He can take care of me. Also put in that assertiveness. That's what I like about the masculine energy.
And what's attractive about a man in touch with his femininity?
I feel like they're less likely to see things like me being a breadwinner more as a threat, and they're more likely to see it as like a positive thing and celebrate my success.
I think since it's like so looked down upon, it's like cool to.
Now, I don't want to, stereotype. This could have been doing like a Halloween weekend. But is it me that the weirder people look, the weirder the answer they're giving, and the more far away they're going from the traditional masculine, feminine roles, right? Pay attention. And I want you to also pay attention when sisters come in this conversation.
See guys who are in touch with such like feminine parts about themselves.
Why is that?
I don't know, because you just don't see it as an everyday thing. So once you see it, it's just like, okay, he's not scared to go out of his comfort zone for something that's not normalized in this social society.
I would rather my man be a little bit more feminine or sensitive in that tone. You know what I'm saying?
So you hear what this is saying? I'd rather have my man be a little more feminine, right? And a little more sensitive. Now, when we went back to the other sisters, right, the European sisters, what they were saying, right? They were saying that, being masculine is kind of hot. But here goes Eve, the black woman, to all due respect. Instead of, she always has to be the one that goes out the box, go to the extreme. And I think a lot of these women don't even believe half the stuff they're saying. They just want to come out and be politically correct or whatever it is, right? Failures.
I'm saying I really don't like to use feminine and masculine because I just feel like people should just be who they are. You know what I'm saying? If you're soft, if you're gentle, if you're loving, then it is what it is. And if you go by rough love or tough love or anything, I'm pretty sure somebody's out there with tough skin for you.
At what point does masculinity become toxic masculinity?
If they're too demanding,
Arrogant.
overwhelming,
Yeah.
egotistical.
All of this I agree with. Fellas, there is such thing as toxic masculinity. There is such thing. We're going to go into that. We're going to go into when brothers are overcapacitating because they're trying to be extra tough because maybe they're not in control at home. Or maybe, they have some trauma issues that they're trying to overcome. We're going to go into that, right? Fair use.
I feel like when they're taking over the relationship and it's like unbalanced energy.
Now, pay attention. It says, I noticed when they take over the relationship, right? I agree thus far, right? What you were saying, arrogant, obnoxious, right? All those things is part of, toxic masculinity. However, though, women, they don't mind seeing a guy being masculine and all that. As long as they are willing. See, it's like this. A woman understands that when a man is in his confident state. His natural man going God's way state. He's about God's business. He's about doing the work of the Most High, taking care of himself, leading by example. They like that. But the minute a man is correcting a woman, oh, now you're being toxic. A man, according to the scriptures, supposed to be in control of his household. If I supposed to be giving my life for you, I supposed to be in a situation that I am supposed to be taking a bullet for you. Supposed to be in a situation that I would defend my family to the death. When you are protecting something, by nature, you have some authority over it because you're protecting it. Don't go here. No, don't touch that. Don't go over there. I think that's too dangerous. Why? Because there is an agreement from the protectee and the protector. There's an agreement. You're going to protect me, and by doing that, I'm going to listen to you because when things hit the fan, you're the one that's going to defend me. So pay attention, folks. Fair use.
That's what it is for me.
Yeah, for sure. When it becomes unbalanced and they use that masculine energy as power over you.
A man's supposed to have power over a woman. See, that's what they don't want. They want the six-pack. They want the tough guy. They want the guy that, you better be talking to my woman or we get into a fight. They want that guy. But the minute the guy tells them, that skirt is too short. You're showing too much cleavage. Oh, now you're being controlling. Pay attention, guys. Pay attention to the lingo.
And they become controlling.
I feel like it's when they let that masculinity become their only personality trait and they almost feel disgusted with doing anything that may be considered more feminine.
If men had the space to really be themselves and not be pressured into thinking that they're gay or soft or, whatever it may be, I feel like if we didn't have that type of thought about men being gay or anything, then men would be more softer, they would be more in tune with their feeling, and they would be.
Let me get this straight. Because I'm not crying with you, because I'm not built that way, I'm doing it because society pressure is telling me that, if I'm not being sensitive, and I'm not talking about brothers and, listen, I cried when my brother died. I cried when my father died. Crying is part of being a man, but also holding your tears and staying stoic in a scenario that you need to be focused on and not crying, right? If your wife is crying and you out there crying and don't know what you're going to do, you're throwing your hands in the air, okay? That's a feminine energy too. And I know what women are saying. A man could be more sensitive, yada, yada, yada. But what women are missing and what these women don't understand, it's not our job, generally speaking, to set the tone for a man to be in a scenario of a more softer tone. It's the woman's job. It's the woman's job. And 9 times out of 10, women are complaining that men are too rough because you are creating the scenario at home. They have to be always undertold. Because this is a 10,000 time to tell you the same thing and you're not listening. Or you want to do it your way. Or you nagging him about something. And he told you, he's going to get back to you. Women set the stage at home. And women need to understand that you could have your man wrapped around your finger if you wanted to. If you know what the heck you was doing, woman. So, brothers, don't allow yourself to get caught up in thinking that, in thinking that you being sensitive or what have you, or you being not agreeing with society and thinking that that means you're a toxic man. You know, this whole thing, be in touch with your feelings, that is a psyop. That is a trick. That is a word. You know, words are very powerful. And a lot of these words that are come out in these societies usually come out by well thought out men and women and people within the propaganda scenario. Like, for instance, when they wanted women to switch their clothing from more provocative, so to speak, or more revealing. And this started happening around the early 60s with the little pum-pum shorts and all that. You could see that early on in the 60s. They started promoting it as what is your right. Now, every woman knew that if you are a lady, you wear a dress, you cover up. You don't dress up like those women, right? They are loose and fast. But what the devil did, this is what he did. He decided to say, you know what? I'm going to make this as some form of civil rights movement. Women, you should wear, little short skirts. Show your cleavage. Show your backside. Show your figure. Don't be a person that you suppressing because men are telling you this. All of this is brainwash. All of this is brainwash. Look at the history on how they introduced cigarettes in America. And they wanted women to start smoking cigarettes. They started showing images, strong women smoking cigarettes and all that. It's all propaganda. We are more like sheeple than we want to admit. We're more like sheeple than we want to admit. And what people need to understand, that being weak is not a virtue. Being strong and controlling your strength, that is what virtue is. People may not know this guy, but if you don't, you should. This is Dr. Jordan Peterson. This is his theory in regard to how to approach life as a man. He's getting a lot of controversial feedback. This guy got famous because he was a professor in Canada, and the college there wanted him to use perfect pronoun or get fired or lose his tenure, and he decided to lose his tenure because he said no institution should force a man or woman or person to forcefully, legally control speech. And this is, and he's been pretty much famous. This is Jordan Peterson. Look him up. He has a lot of good information. Fair use.
Helpful for people to hear that they should make themselves competent and dangerous and take their proper place in the world.
Competent and dangerous?
Mm-hmm.
Why dangerous?
Because it's the alternative to being weak. And weak is not good. The people who shoot up the high schools, they're weak. They're weak.
How is it good?
You hear what he says? The people that shoot up high school, they are weak. These are not strong people. You notice, it's never the high school jock, the high school, the basketball player, the guys in the football team, the guys in the wrestling team, the guys in the basketball team. It's never those guys shooting the school. It's always weak men.
Good to be dangerous.
Because it makes you formidable. And life is a very difficult process, and it's not you're not prepared for it unless you have the capacity to be dangerous. That doesn't mean that you should be cruel. It doesn't mean any of that. There's a statement in the New Testament, the meek shall inherit the earth. But the meek isn't well translated. It means something more like those who have swords and know how to use them but keep them sheathed will inherit the world. That's a way better way of thinking about it. You have to be powerful and formidable and then peaceful, in that order, right? And that's not the same as being naive and weak and harmless, which is what young men are being encouraged to be. It's like, that's a very bad idea. It's a very bad idea. Because naive, weak, and harmless means that you can't withstand the tragedies of life. You can't bear any responsibility. You'll end up bitter. And when you get bitter...
Now listen, parents, you may have a child, right, that is doesn't like sports, gets hurt very easily, doesn't like to deal with physical stuff, and you just don't want to force him to do something he doesn't want to do. Take my advice. Force him. Force him. It doesn't have to be a sport that he may not like. I mean, that he may, he may not like. He may not like wrestling or martial arts or what have you. But he should focus on doing something and get good at it. I don't care if it's golf, tennis, swimming, whatever it is. If kids don't like sports, if they're very young and they don't like sports, oh, my son, he's a philosopher. He's not he's a rough and tough. Make him anyway. He's going to thank you. He's going to thank you. You put them and you have to put kids in a position that they have to seek within themselves to achieve something. They have to learn about failure. They have to know how that feels very early. And you can't pamper them. Okay? You can't put them in a position that you're always protecting them. I know, I'm a parent. And this is the reason why I was compelled to start this organization called Man Going God's Way. Shout out to the brothers that we were in a meeting this past Sunday. Shout out to the brothers there. Okay. And if you want to be part of Man Going God's Way, you're more than welcome. Rule number 1, you have to be a heterosexual man. Matter of fact, if you are struggling with homosexuality and you want to fight against that, and you want us to help you, you can also come to Man Going God's Way. Men only. This is for men, for by men, and things of that nature. Women, if you want to join, you can marry in. You can marry one of the men. Oh, by the way, we're polygamists. We believe in plural marriage. Man can have multiple wives. So you have a problem with that, maybe this is not the organization for you. However, let me explain to you something, folks, what's happening. And I'm not wrong. They want to feminize our boys. They want to make our boys to be second-guessing themselves in dealing with their natural ability as a man and understanding that certain times you need aggression. Boys will always be aggressive. That's why I want to talk about toxic masculinity, right? Because I want to, when I was putting together this podcast, and I wanted, I was showing videos. Let's see here if I could find the actual picture. Here it is, right here. Boom, perfect, right? I wanted to kind of show the difference, right? A visual of what does toxic masculinity, right, looks like versus righteous masculinity, right? Because both of these people are tough. Both of these people are brave. One is toxic, right, and one is not. So let me show real quick. This was the thumbnail that I put together, right? So you can see one side, right, in the top right or top left, taking drugs. Dude, I dare you, take it. Come on. Jug the whole beer. The whole drink. You be a man, right? Fighting in the street, right? That's all. That's also been what you consider toxic masculinity. That's also been. It is masculine. You have to tap into your masculinity. All these guys are brave. All these guys on both sides of the equation. The other side, you got the fireman. You got the man with the gun protecting his wife and kids. You have two men taking a hike in a high mountain. That could be dangerous. You have another brother taking jiu-jitsu. Okay, all of these men are being masculine right now. But what's the difference? One's is toxic, right? One is a you end up gonna end up in jail, end up 6 feet under, right? And you're gonna destroy your mind, your body, and your soul, right? The other one, you have to be strong-willed. You have to be strong to be a fireman and carry a grown adult down from a ladder. Okay? You have to have nerves of steel to protect your wife and kids with a burglar coming in. You have to have endurance and be fearless to climb a tall mountain and not be scared when you look down, you hundreds of feet up. You have to be a humble man doing jiu-jitsu. I remember when I first started jiu-jitsu. And it became a situation that I used to get tapped out every day. I was like, good Lord, these guys are tapping me out. And if I didn't go through those tap outs, it could have been, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 tap outs. Who knows? I would never have gotten my blue belt. And if I would not continue and fight and fight and fight and train and train and train and you know, even when you got your blue belt, you start tapping people out, but you also get tapped out. You may wrestle with a brown belt, right? More experience. If I would have never gone through that, I would never have gotten my purple belt. Okay, my goal before I get out of here, I want to get my black belt before I get out of here. That's why I'm going to jiu-jitsu. I'm going actually tomorrow and going Thursday. Got to get back in shape, you know. And even now, as a 50-year-old man, it's like I'm competing with these younger guys, and now a real strong, healthy blue belt, I gotta watch out for because he may take you, you know, he may take an arm bar or whatever. I'm not a young person like that, right? I'm not as strong as I used to be, so I have to be wiser, right? But if I am a toxic man, right? If I'm tapping into my toxic masculinity, right? I will be in a scenario that now, okay, I won't be humble enough to go through my embarrassment of having men choking me out. And I understand, like, in going through that process, if I was going through a real fight with this dude, he has the skill to knock me out, and he could be able to do whatever he wants with me. A man who is not in touch with his manhood will just walk away, not come back. I've seen a lot of guys in the jiu-jitsu game leave, big guys. They just can't. Their ego can take it. If I had an ego, all these guys has egos. It's how you execute that ego. The guy holding a gun and protecting his wife, he has an ego. It's like, nah, you ain't touching my family. That's ego. Is you know, have to be in a situation. These guys that climbing this mountain, ego has to be also implied to that. Yo, let's go climb that big mountain. You sure? Let's do it. Ego comes into that. So, remember when the ladies were saying, you know, earlier that, you know, being egotistical, right? So that means ego is wrong, Gabar? No, it all depends how you use it. It all depends in the spectrum of things, right? So I want to have a conversation today. I want to have a conversation. Okay, if brothers want to call in, and sisters, okay, this is a show for men by men, but we don't discriminate. If you want to come in and have a conversation, you're more than welcome. You can call in at 267-358-0879, okay? So let's have a conversation. So let's see if, let's play a little more Peterson, and then we'll take some phone calls.
Then you get dangerous.
But one thing I'm not getting, there's a big difference between letting people do something for themselves and saying men should be dangerous. By dangerous, that implies I should be ready to threaten someone, to hurt somebody.
No, you should be capable of it. But that doesn't mean you should use it. There's nothing to you otherwise. Like, if you're not a formidable force, there's no morality in your self-control.
Right. If you're weak and you are afraid because you are weak, and somebody strikes you and you turned the other cheek because you was too afraid not to turn the other cheek, that does not make you a virtual man. It doesn't make you a man of virtue and righteousness because you was too afraid to fight back anyway. So there's no virtue in being weak. However, if you're strong, if you're brave, and you do get slapped, and you turn the other cheek, and you self-control yourself, that's virtue. That's strength. You can't be virtuous and weak in the same time.
If you're incapable of violence, not being violent isn't a virtue. People who teach martial arts know this full well, right? If you learn a martial art, you learn to be dangerous, but simultaneously you learn to control it. Both of those come together. And the combination of that capacity for danger and the capacity for control is what brings about the virtue. Otherwise, you confuse weakness with moral virtue. I'm harmless, therefore I'm good. It's like, no, that isn't how it works. That isn't how it works at all. If you're harmless, you're just weak. And if you're weak, you're not going to be good. You can't be, because it takes strength to be good. It's very difficult to be good.
So, is he wrong? Let's call in. Let's have a conversation. Maybe I'm an old fart, don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm, my old, Latin male machismo's coming out. I don't know. Right? Let's have a conversation. Because this is how I feel about this. If young people they're gonna be born, whether we like it or not. Young people are being born right now, and young men are being shaped and molded by their environment. And what is their environment? What's going on? You got these young people now. Hey, if a young person now doesn't feel that he or she is in the right body, right gender, they could go to the teacher and the counselor, and they could have a conversation without the parents and act upon that child's wishes without the parents' acknowledgement, even awareness. Kids could call themselves whatever kinds of names now. So if we do nothing, and I'm talking to men, if we do nothing, just complain, they win. The difference between femininity and masculinity, the difference between weak and strong, is when you see what's wrong and you do something about it. That's the difference between being weak and strong. Weak people complain. Weak people don't do nothing and say there's nothing we could do because that's impossible. I know a lot of people saying, Gabar, you're crazy. You're going on your own. You're doing your own thing. Yada yada yada. Stay safe. Stay. Still. Don't go out there by yourself, staying alone. What people don't understand is that I'm alone, but I'm not alone. There's hundreds, thousands, even millions of men that are thinking like me. I know you out there. I know that these men are out there that have that perfect balance. Understanding that they're not being tough. They don't need tattoos. They don't even need big muscles. Because I think even that's a thing, sometimes, this overly achieving muscles for no reason. But you can't even reach your back and clean your own butt when you use the bathroom. I'm talking about well-balanced men. I know they're out there. And instead of me complaining about these organizations that we all come short. My organization are going to come short. But each organization, each movement, each idea that gets closer to the truth brings us closer to the truth. And I don't know if is it me, is it my generation, but I don't want just to wait for Christ and let him resolve all issues. I've been hearing that since the beginning of time. And I think we've been missing one key component when Christ was walking the earth. What he said. The kingdom of heaven will not come through observation, because the kingdom of heaven is in you. So I'm going to bring my brick. And what is my brick? Man going God's way. If you are a brother and you feel that you need answers, that you feel that you don't fit with a particular church, or you don't fit with a particular something, you feel like you're the odd man out. Maybe man going God's way is the way, is the way you want to go. And like I said to the brothers, this is not a church. We encourage brothers to go to church. We encourage brothers to stay in church, to be part of a church, but this is not a church. Okay, this is my brick that I think that I could bring into the kingdom by helping the younger generation, by helping those brothers that been that middle class and been working and always been taught to work, but feel that there is something wrong in the matrix. If you feel lost, if you feel like you need someone to guide you to the right direction. And brothers, let me say this, man. Especially you in your 20s and you in your 30s and even your 40s. You need mentors, man. You need men that have been through it and could tell you, don't do that. I did that. This is what happened. And this is how I learned. A lot of brothers are out there thinking and hating and disliking the generation that came before them. Thinking they don't have nothing to offer. We're the new kids in the block. We're going to show them. Every generation does that, and every generation is wrong. Every shout out to Black Honor Movement. Please, brother. Hey, Brother Black, if you want to come through, the link is below. You're more than welcome. Come through. Let's have a conversation. I want to have a roundtable discussion. And I want to. There's a test. This is for all the brothers, sisters. You could also participate in this exercise. Give me an example, brothers. I want you guys to type it down. Give me an example in what is, from your perspective, righteous masculinity. Something that is masculine, but is righteous. Give me an example. I want to hear your thoughts. I'll start. I think saving a drowning person is a righteous, an act of righteous masculinity. Okay, I got Brother Jude in the house. He's calling in. Let me bring him in. Brother Judah, you in the house? Let's see here. Brother Judah, you in the house. What say you? So give me an example of righteous masculinity versus toxic masculinity. Do we know the difference? Can we point it out? What say you, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shalom, Brother Gabar, first off.
Shalom.
Praise be unto the Most High. Praise be unto the highest and my brothers out there. And even hello to the sisters. Shalom to the sisters if they're out there. So I wanted to take a little different approach on this one right here, Gabar, and answer your question because I realized that, I'm a vitamin man. I have a different diet. You know what I mean? I take a lot of stuff that most men don't, that boost your testosterone up 300%.
Yep.
And I'm being transparent with the people
and
on
Brother
here.
Judah,
you know what I mean?
And Brother Judah, I want to hear your thoughts, but I just want to say shout out to Brother Romeo. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you, Brother Romeo in the house. All praises, all praises. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. You were saying. And actually,
Yes, sir.
matter of fact, Brother Romeo, he had a scripture. Let me read it for the audience. Romans 13:11, it says, in that knowing that time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. Beautiful scripture. Now is the time. If not now, when? So thank you, Brother Roman, for that super chat. I appreciate you. Go ahead, Brother Judah. You were saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful scripture. And, it's like this. I got you on speakerphone. I'm having to, I guess, calm down a little bit, because it's like this. My lady, she understands that I'm unapologetically masculine, However, when I'm in a group, when I'm in a room with a group of men, you get charged, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
There was a time a long time ago in ancient times, man, that warriors used to talk as loud as they want. They were highly intelligent. They were skilled at bow and arrow, skilled at the spear, skilled with the sword, skilled at the use of the dagger, skilled at physical combat, physical hand-to-hand combat, without a knife, without a sword, without a katana, without a blade, without a spear. They can kill a man with their bare hands. And sometimes it's like, even with me, and I'm being transparent with everyone who's listening, because I am a part of men going God's way. And I say that boldly and unapologetically. You know what I mean? I don't really fit in. And I understand that, because in this society, strength is deemed as craziness. Like one of the sisters last week, and I forgive her, but, I don't even remember her name, because I don't even think I've ever known her name. I think somebody may have.
Brother Judah, I know you're driving and you're walking. I don't know your phone sometimes drops. So the audience is used to it. I know I am by now. So okay, yep, Brother Judah, you're back.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
back.
Sir, yes,
I know. For the audience, I was telling the audience that you're always on mobile. You're working while you're calling, so the numbers may drop up. But yeah, go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah, yes, sir. But right now, real quick, Brother Gabor, like right now, I'm at the house. Like I'm in Day Island down here in Carolina. So like this is a really, really, really good area for phone service. I've got like 5 bars, man.
Okay,
so
I don't. Yeah,
it's the Men in Black.
Yeah, it's the Men in Black. Let me ask you a question. Did you have this problem with any other friends of yours that call you? I'm the only.
Sir.
Okay, so I keep
It's
saying
just you.
It's
just
me.
you.
I don't know what's going on. They're trying to. They don't want this truth to come out.
But yeah, that's what it is. It's like a short circuit. It's like the other day, my lady was. And I'm gonna answer the question. Give me 10 seconds, because I'm not gonna do the squirrel thing tonight. But I'm gonna try to calm my voice down, because I don't want to scare the sisters that's listening. But man, I'm gonna tell you, I work hard to be who I am. My lady sit here and watch me do 1,000 push-ups straight. Well, not straight, but in about 2 or 3 hours. She's a witness. She's right here. She was juicing. We got a freaking juicer, a $2,500 juicer we bought, which I don't give a crap about money. And as soon as she was in there juicing, and I went in there and touched the button, it short-circuited and damn near broke the juice. It just short-circuited it. I remember when I was younger. When I was in the field, maybe like 5 years ago, I was trying to, a guy was bothering me, a guy fresh out of prison who was toxic masculine, 6'2", 6'3", and I have witnesses there, many witnesses. I ain't got to say what I do, but it's like, I try to get away from this guy several times, Gabar, because like you say, when you're masculine, you're confident in that masculine frame, but sometimes people want to test you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you may have to hurt someone, God forbid. And I'm the type person, I'm like, man, listen, I'm sorry. I apologize. I will walk away and look like a softie. I will walk away and look like a chump, man. I don't want no problem, bro. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
I'm out, Yeah, excuse me, brother. I didn't mean to bump into you. My bad, brother. I'm the type of cat that open doors for people. My lady doesn't touch the car door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I open the door for her. She doesn't touch her chair when we go to these restaurants. I pour a chair out for her. So there is a balance. However, there's a lot of vitamins, minerals, nutrients inside of a man like me, because I follow the dietary law.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking at ways to improve God's greatest creation, which is the human body. So I am fascinated with the male and the female body. I am fascinated with the male and the female spirit. You know what I mean? I am fascinated with male and female chemistry. So I'm like, listen, to be the best me, for God to dwell within me, I've got to clean this thing out.
Yeah.
And that led me to wheatgrass powder that I put in my water. That led me to protein powder. That led me to L-glutamine, which is an amino acid that boosts your testosterone over 300%. That reduces your cortisol being secreted from your adrenal glands by 200%. You understand what I mean? That improves your IGF being secreted from your liver. It makes you strong, man. And sometimes, like, I feel like I can run through a brick wall. And I'm so delicate, though. When I shake a woman's hands, I turn my hand the opposite way, like they used to do back in the 1900s, and let her put her hand on top of mine. And I don't squeeze it in. I don't break her bones. When I shake men's hands, I damn near break their bones.
Well, Brother Judah, let me ask you a question.
Brother,
you know what I mean? Yeah, let me ask you a question. Brother Carter, he brought a good example because earlier I mentioned, give me an example of righteous masculinity, right? Something that will take a man to be, bravery, upfront, righteous, or something that's associated with masculinity, but it's also associated with righteousness. So Brother Carter, Emery Carter, shout out. He was actually the Man Going God's Way meeting. Shout out to him. I think I spoke to him today. A 22-year-old brother looking for some guidance. We're gonna guide him. We're gonna set him right. Working, doing his thing, staying out of trouble. So he's a future warrior. But he mentioned, he says, an example, it says, warning someone of a possible danger or trait that could come their way. Another example is expressing yourself and be direct with being, or I guess some people could take as being rude. So, yeah, so sometimes standing up.
And that's where I was going to, brother.
Sometimes it's saying what is uncomfortable. It's saying what, hey brother, you drinking too much, bro. You gotta put down the beer, bro. Right? Nah, bro, you not a man. What? You a homo? You don't want to drink? Right? That's toxic masculinity, right? Righteous masculinity is like, brother, put that drink down. This is you drinking too much. Right? Hey brother, you taking drugs, man. Leave those drugs alone. What are you, a homosexual, brother? I take drugs, right? A real man, you scared? See, so righteous masculinity versus toxic masculinity, it could be, it could be pointed out. It's like it sticks out like a sore thumb. So I want to touch on that. I want to touch on that.
Yeah.
What is something that is hard sometimes for a man to do, but he has to do it because that's what men do. Give me an example.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, may I give you an example from, I guess like my lifestyle in regards to like eating healthy and stuff?
Yeah.
Can I give an example like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like this, because, health is pretty much all I know. Here's a good example, right? You have the guys who advertise drinking alcohol, Michelob, and drinking lean and getting drunk and all that.
Yeah.
If I drink wine, it's a cup, and it may be at a restaurant once a month or 2 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not into the whole getting drunk thing and all that. That's ridiculous to me because you're not on point when you're drunk.
Right.
That's sloppy. That's toxic masculinity to me. That's a symptom of a toxic masculine man.
Right.
Want to get drunk all the time. Want to get high all the time. Want to be on lean all the time because you ain't nothing to play with, right?
Right.
Oh, you tough, right? You bad. You gangster. Well, look at you. You're so on point right now that you're so sluggish and lethargic that if you were to engage a man in physical hand-to-hand combat, you really, really think that you can protect yourself and not be harmed, brutally hurt. So most men who do alcohol, I would say, put the alcohol down and pick up the juicer, pick up the veggie juice.
And let me say this. And you're right. If you are drunk, you're more vulnerable to attacks, and you end right. But I never wanted to be that guy in the club or in social gathering that is like the drunk guy speaking, or I never wanted to be that guy because that guy always looked like, a loser. He didn't look like the guy that people want to be around. He looked like the guy people tolerate. You understand? But he never looked the guy that had it together. It's nothing drinking a little whiskey, a little wine, a little beer. But you should never look out of control. Never look out of control. And that was always my idea or my thing. You should, I'm always was the guy that you don't want to be the light of the party. You want to be the guy in the corner looking around and making sure everything is good. But go ahead, you were saying, Brother Judah.
Yeah. I mean, put down the alcohol, getting drunk, and then lean and promethazine and all this other crap, and get you some papayas and some pineapples and some cucumbers and some celery and some parsley, some lemon limes and some ginger, some turmeric. Throw that thing in a nice juicer that you get. Get it from Walmart. You ain't got to buy an expensive juicer. Hell, I ain't got no money. I know most people ain't got money like that, but shoot, I used to buy $40, $50, $60 juices all the time. Juice that up and drink that. So what I'm saying is, Brother Gabar, I found another way to get.
Okay, Brother Judah, he will call. He always gets dropped immediately exactly when he's about to drop something. Let me bring the brother back. All right, Brother Judah, you're back. Brother Judah, you're back.
Yeah,
You were
I'm
saying,
back.
go ahead.
Yeah,
the audience already
what I
used
was
to it.
saying was-
I was telling the audience, you always get hanged up right in the middle. You're about to drop a bomb. You get
Yeah,
they
man.
come in.
Right? Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm just trying to stay with it, because let me stay on point here, sir. Because when they do that, they knock me off as intentional,
Right.
and I had to get my thoughts back together.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I found another way to get high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found another way to get high, and I get high off of God's vegetables, His fruits, His vitamins, His minerals, His nutrients, His herbs. I get high off of the book of Ecclesiasticus, putting them in my headphones, put my headphones in my ears. You know what I mean? When I go out into this world, I ain't got to listen to this trash on the radio. I'm listening to the book of wisdom.
Yeah.
And dare I say, words of spirits, like it says in John 6:68, right? Or is it John 6:63? It's in the, I believe.
No,
it's
you
63 or
want
68.
to feel high.
I want to
Run.
The high that I
Check
get
this
is
out.
a godly high.
You want to feel high? Run. Go jogging. And go and get like an auto Bible book. I bought what's that brother who's Darth Vader in Star Wars? What's his name? What's the brother's name? He played
Jones, John L. Jones.
Yeah, something Jones, something scholars. You guys know who he is. He did a King James Bible narration. You could buy it, and you hear the brother. This is Darth Vader saying, in the beginning, right? So you listen. You want to feel high? Go jog and just listen to the scripture. And just jog and just pick a book, whatever you like, and just go jog and go jog. It's next level. Yeah, James Earl Jones. There you go. I wanted to give the brother respect. I wanted to give his flowers. He was still alive. The brother's in his 80s, man, and he still looks good. 80s or 90s. Somebody look it up. I always let me see if Google is any good these days. Because sometimes they don't know what the heck they're doing. Hey Google, how old is James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones is 92 years old.
92.
I also found an answer to this question. How much is James Earl Jones' voice worth? Do you want to hear it?
I guess so. You got me curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
She teased me. She says, she wanted to tell me. Now she stopped working anyway. But so that there are ways, brothers and sisters, especially brothers, to get euphoric naturally. Running, I gotta get back to running. My knees. I gotta check out my knees because I don't like jogging in concrete. But there's ways to get euphoric naturally, brother. But Judah, you were saying.
Yes, sir. Great point. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Sorry, just charting this down real quick while you were talking. So it's like this. Yeah, like I found another way. Please forgive me, family. I found another way to get high. Through the righteous way, energy, light, and if you get this, once you get into that wisdom in that book and stuff, and there's some things I can't even talk about on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure, like Gabar said earlier, there are many men in the world like this that are truly powerful, that have supernatural abilities, Seriously. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
So with that.
Yep. Brother Judah, love you. But he'll call back. But it's like this. It's let me see. We got Brother Judah. Back on the horn.
Yep.
Go ahead, Brother Judah. Go ahead.
I'm back.
Yeah, finish your last point, brother. And,
Yeah.
and go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you talk because you don't know. We don't know when the next time they're gonna cut you off. Go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. You know, what was I saying?
What were you thinking about that? What are you thinking about that? Right.
The point that I was trying to make was like, finding an alternative way to get high,
Right.
through righteousness. That includes like, working out, working on the body that God made, the greatest creation that God ever made, the human body, exercising, weights, like you said earlier, listening to Sirach or Proverbs or some of these books that they took out of the Bible, put them in your earphone, listen to them, and allow that energy to become a part of you, because within those books are energy,
Yeah.
light, electricity, power, and it really, really becomes a part of you, literally, to the point that if you understand energy enough, you can touch a man or a woman and transfer it. And I'll leave it there because I can't say too many things on this because they probably gonna cut me off again. But if anybody think that I'm making this up, research therapeutic touch from Mount Sinai University in New York. Therapeutic touch. That's what the Bible refers to as the laying on of hands. And if you study that enough and take care of your body enough, you can transfer that.
They keep cutting him off. He's dropping that Jew. They keep cutting him off. But he's calling back. But there and there is some truth to that in regards of right, and there is some truth that you were saying in regards of this transferring energy. It's like you go into a room, right, and somebody is sad or crying or whatever. You come in and you rub them, say some few words, they snap out of it. Your energy change that person, heal that person. But go ahead, Brother Judah, you were saying.
Great point. Yes, sir. That's like the fourth time they cut me off. But yeah, you're right. You can transfer that energy. And so, it's like what I was telling you about the whole toxic masculine thing and then versus masculine thing. I'm going to get off of that because they keep cutting me off. Obviously, they want me to talk about something else. So, yeah, whatever. So with that being said, men can't even be strong today, man. When I come in a room full of men, strong men, I absorb their energy. See, people, I look at people sometimes, I'm like, man, you really don't know how this goes, do you?
Yeah.
You really don't understand this, really, do you? You can absorb energy. And when I walk in the room around powerful men, I absorb it. And I love it.
Yeah.
I'm being transparent. I don't give a crap about being on YouTube. I don't curse. But I absorb that energy and I allow that to empower me. That's who I am. I am a compilation of mighty men that I decided to humble myself and follow and allow to teach me. Edward McDonald. I am a compilation, a.k.a. Judah. Yeah. I am a compilation of powerful men. Okay? That's all I am. But I had to humble myself to listen to these men and I acquired wisdom to see, who should I listen to and who should I not listen to? And these.
Brother Judah. Judah, I'm gonna bring you in, and then you can maybe wrap it up, and then we could and somebody else also want to come in through Zoom. You're more than welcome. The Zoom link is below. If you agree or disagree with me, call me. We could have a conversation. You could come in through Zoom, or you could come in through 267-358-0879. And Brother Judah, you always bring good points, but we'll chop it up and things of that nature. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing with men going God's way is that
and thank you for allowing me to speak, sir.
Okay.
I'm listening.
I wanted to let you in, but I want to just drop this last thing I was saying in regards of men going God's way. One thing I want to start doing is the next meeting we're going to be having is creating our own constitution. But I want to build it together, and I want to challenge you guys. if you're going to build a constitution, what you will do. And I want to hear from you guys. So I know we have some brothers. That's going to be the next meeting. I'll give you guys some details. We created a group chat today. I'll be sending you guys some information to go into, some tests and some other things we're going to be doing, challenge each other, because it's about, iron sharpening iron. But go ahead, Brother Judah, you were saying.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, Brother Gabar. I can't hold up too much of your time. And let me make this last little point real quick before I forget, because I want to correct myself, because I know how people are. People are so evil and wicked. And I'm going to be honest with you. Honestly, quite frankly, I don't like people. I'm going to be real with you, because people are so not who they say they are. People are so fake and unauthentic, and I can smell them a mile away. I can feel it. That was my gift too. So when I feel somebody is real, I cling to them. I'm like, man, this is my brother. This is my sister. You know what I mean? No matter what nationality they may be.
Well, this is my personal opinion, and I want us, 2-3 years from now, to go back to this show and see if I will be right or wrong, because you mentioned people, but I believe that we're stuck in the matrix, and I believe the matrix is America, and I think once we start traveling and start looking at other people and connecting with other human beings outside America, you're gonna realize that, oh, it's not people, it's people in Babylon. So I hear what you're saying, brother, and I do agree with you. And I know precisely what you're talking about. Sometimes I just don't want to be involved with people. I just want to be left alone. Like, the only reason why I have to go out there is I mean, that's a lot. I do enjoy my jiu-jitsu class. Going back to you were saying about, you got to be around, when you're around men, they give you energy. And being around those brown belts and those black belts and those blue belts, and brothers been doing this for a while, and they all regular dudes, man. That we're all humble, and we all laugh, but you need that camaraderie. You need that, absolutely. And so I like some people, but I
like some people.
Yeah, I like some people too. Some of them are right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's like I can tell who's who. And sometimes I'm wrong, because I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'm wrong, but I allow people to prove who they are to me, and when they show me who they are, I believe them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah.
Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
But hey, Brother Gabar.
Yes, sir.
Last thing I wanted to say this real quick. The toxic masculinity thing about, we've all had, and I'm so nonviolent that it's ridiculous. I wouldn't hurt or flee unless I'm forced to. You know what I mean? But that's going to require a lot, because I don't allow people to engage my emotions. Most men who claim to be masculine, what you call toxic masculinity is not masculinity at all. It's really a feminism and fear. It's an effeminate spirit, a fearful, feminine spirit in the disguise of masculinity. And these are like little chihuahuas or something that bark and ain't gonna bust a grape.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because thugs, right? Thugs are romanticized as being tough guys, but thugism is the result of men, boys being raised by women. The most emotional man is a thug. He's easily triggered. Anything pisses him off. You have to walk around him on eggshells, because he's really, if you even remotely disrespect him, he's killing you. That's an emotional, you're right. That's not masculine. That's the most feminine energy out there.
Hello.
So let's talk about it. Go ahead, Judah. You were saying.
Hello. I'm trying to tell you, I agree 100%, Brother Gabar. It's like I said, I've been attacked by people before. And this is, I don't put on shows or anything like that, but we're having real conversations. You know what I mean? So, and being that I consider myself a truthful man, sometimes truth is raw, it's rugged, it hurts. Yeah. It's like, man, it's aggressive. It's everything. That's what truth is, So I haven't always been this person. I had to grow to become this person. I didn't come out the womb like a strong man. I was weak at one point. There was times when I was a young man, and I was talking to my cousin about this a couple weeks ago. He probably listening right now. And we're in the gutter, in the belly of the beast, and it was like a 2-on-2 fight, and a third guy came up, and because
Judah, well, you always bring out the good stuff. But you're back. I'm gonna let you back 2 seconds. Let me just get Brother Judah back. Okay, we're gonna go through this.
Yeah.
Judah, we're gonna get through this together, man. Go ahead. You were saying.
It's depressing, man. I'm like, man, they go rat-ta-ta me off. They go, rat-ta-ta, like the little Sandman with Apollo. Put the little cane around your neck and yank you off.
You know what I'm gonna do?
You
know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take our conversations, right, and I'm gonna chop them up and cut the pieces when they cut you off, and just continue the conversation. See how because if we could just continue the conversation, you just edit it the areas when they hang up on you. I'm gonna start doing that.
Got him. Yeah. So let me try to get this out for the men in black. Get to pushing some more buttons. So yeah. So there have been times that I've had to walk away from many things. Like I was telling you, when I was a young man, I had to grow to become this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to grow, and it's and when you're like a man like that has that type of mentality, that you don't have to say you're fearless. You really are not. You really kind of you're a fearless man. You really your heart don't pump Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to control that, because it can get out of control real quick.
Yeah, that is true.
You're afraid of
that is true.
You're afraid of yourself.
That is true.
Yeah, you're afraid of yourself.
Because,
like, God, you get to sweating.
Yeah, because that's why we got to get them early, because the young kids, they got energy, right? They start at the begin. Now there's the beginning stage of the high testosterone coming in, and they got that energy. They got that energy. So if we could guide that energy into the right place, going into wrestling or jiu-jitsu or martial arts or football, basketball, or swimming, challenging himself and reward him, right? Give him task, teach him how to build a car from scratch. And we could just take these kids early, man, and show them a different path of manhood. For the man to live, the thug gotta die. He got to die. What's that?
Exactly. For the man to live, the thug has to die. Wow. Yeah, that should be on a portrait or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that should be on a meme or something and float around Facebook and Instagram. Seriously, you know what I mean? But and it's like watch this, Brother Gabar, real quick, because I keep trying to get out. They keep hanging me up. It's better to walk away. Like, that's why I teach my sons, try to get away from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're forced to deal with someone, the Most High gonna put that spirit on you to take whomever out. I'm telling you, just like you put that spirit on King David and all those men in the Bible, that stuff is real, y'all.
Yeah.
That stuff is real. So when men are aware of this, that they can absorb energies, that their body is clean to the best of their ability, even though they may have sin in them, that they're trying not to do. They don't sin intentionally. Out there living the La Vida Loca and all that.
Right.
These men are very powerful, because God will engage these men's body at any time to get them out of harm. So they're not dangerous. They're not violent.
Yeah.
But these men are not to be played with. It's like Marines and Green Berets and Navy SEALs. I respect them to the utmost. Even policemen, I respect them to the utmost, because you got to be a certain type of person to go and risk your life. Now that's masculinity.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
right.
I think I see. Hold on. I think I see somebody coming in. Let me see if I could bring them in from on Zoom. Let's see here. Boom. Let me see. Who do we have on Zoom? Let's get in. Let's see here. Okay, brother, do you have your camera on, or you just want to come in? Brother Ember, Embry, there he is. Okay, there you go. There it is.
Yeah.
Brother Embry in the house. This is the young brother we were talking about, Brother Judah. I was talking to how we doing, brother? How we doing?
My brother, Shalom.
Doing well. Shalom.
Shalom.
Also, it's pronounced Amir.
Amir. Okay, Amir. I'm an old guy. I gotta get. I had these computer glasses and I broke them, and I gotta buy them. I gotta give me I'm old, man, so You know, and
it's
take
all
care of
cool.
your
It's
eyes,
fine.
man. Take care of your eyes.
Eat those carrots.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So brother Amir, so what you got to add to this conversation? You're a young man. We spoke briefly today, and we're talking about toxic masculinity. We're talking about righteous masculinity. What is your thoughts on that? What is your interpretation? Before it's make believe we didn't talk, we haven't met, and someone will just come up to you and say, "What is masculinity to you?" Or what is toxic masculinity? What would have been your explanation?
Okay, so for me, what I think righteous masculinity is just a man who's in control of himself. To put it in small words,
Okay.
a man who's in control of himself.
Yeah.
And toxic would be the opposite. Like he's using all that energy towards all these destructive habits.
Yeah.
Like you guys were mentioning drugs, alcohol, being a gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like a fight, right? I always just, the guy who's yelling, who's boasting, who's going wild, rah, doing wild swings and doing F-bombs and I'm going to kill you. But the guy who stay control, keep his dukes up, chin down.
Exactly.
He dives and weaves. He's not showing off. He knows he could get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He knows this guy could hurt him. He respects the fact that he's in a fight, but he's calm. He's collected.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
That's what it is. Because both guys are brave. Both guys are fighting. Right? But the guy who's going to get knocked out is the guy who's showing off, who's, and that guy's probably talented too. But he doesn't hit the gym as often as the guy who's determined, who's calm and collective. Because I've seen guys who are tough, and the minute they lost a fight, you never see them again in the gym. They had a bad day in the gym, they never come back. So I think you're right. Self-control is essential. We look down on the statement when I used to come up. I'm the oldest of the three here. Boys don't cry. Hold your tears, boy. Hold your chin up. Come on, right? That's now demonized. That's called, crying shaming. That's called, you let the boy cry and yada yada. But now I will be conscious right now. If I'm a grandfather right now, or if the Most High grant me with another child, and if my grandson gets, he falls and he's crying, I'm gonna tell him, it's okay, Papa. You're gonna be okay. Take a breather. Come on, don't cry. You're tough. You could do this. Right? I will give him healthy encourage. Now, I could understand if you be like, don't be a B and don't be a, right? That's toxic masculinity. You understand? So it's how you do it. It's how you express it. And that's the conversation I want to have I want to have today, because it's how can we promote? How can we build the man by killing the thug? And that's the question I propose to both of you guys.
May I jump in real quick, because Brother Amir made a great point.
Go ahead.
And I appreciate him jumping in, because and you see how it works, fam? He got me on point. And I'm 39 and he's like in his early 20s, and that's my brother.
Mm.
And my first time even hearing his voice for real was like the other day. But he just humbled me. You want to know why? Because I tend to go off track. But watch this. He just got me back on track. Self-control, like you said earlier. So let me just explain it like this, because this is what I live by. This is my code, Brother Amir, my fam. Truth. Men need truth so you can stop lying to yourself. He's got to be peaceable. He's got to be respectful. He's got to be self-control. He's got to have self-control, and he's got to be disciplined.
Yeah. There goes Brother Judah. They keep hanging him up. I don't know why. He'll call back. But Brother Embry, it's profound that you're coming in and we're having this conversation. And Brother Judah, if you call back, you're more than welcome. And anybody, we could have several people on Zoom. We could have several people on the phone and let's have a conversation. Do you agree, disagree? Let's have a conversation. And Brother Ami, so you know, self-control. And you seem like a calm person. I think you seem like you are someone who is there is 4 personality types. It's been a while I got into it. You got the A, which is the active. You got the T, which is the technical. You got the R for relationship. I'm gonna go back to it, but what you got different types of men. The alpha, you got the beta, you got zetas. A lot of people ignore zetas. Zetas are people that are like kind of lone wolf. They do things in their own way, and they're not alpha males, but they're as strong as alpha males. But they don't need to show it off. I thought I was an alpha male for a long time, but when I read the definition of zetas, I was like, I think I'm a zeta. So what personality do you think you are, Brother Embry?
Okay, yeah. So I'm new to the term zeta. Usually I've heard sigma.
Sigma? Yeah, sigma is the same thing. It's duality. Yeah, sigma. Yeah.
Okay, sigma. Yeah, so I would say I would fall in that category as well. I'm more so I could do my own thing. I can be alone. There's no problem.
Yeah.
But also I don't mind talking to people. I'll talk to anybody. It's a interesting mix of an extroverted introvert. That's what I would describe myself, an ambivert.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I think the concept of man going God's way, right? I love the title of that man going God's way. I just love it because it keeps you. It says so much in the title. But one thing that I believe that there is an invincible army, and I believe that you have the alphas, right, and you have betas. The alphas are running the betas, but you know who is out there and it's a secret army? The zetas, the introverts, the men that are just don't want to be in the limelight, don't want to be telling people what to do, but I'm going to just do my own thing, right? We're not followers, but we're not leaders. But you know what the funny thing is? When we eventually will lead, eventually we will become in that leadership position, zetas or introvert individuals, we become the best leaders. Why? Because a lot of us don't want to be there. We're there because we have to. We are there because the alphas are taking over the world, and look, they're bringing this world to the pits. So we have to come up. So those are the men I'm trying to attract, and with men going God's way. And I think we could follow. We could get that balance of not following a crowd, but having your wolf pack as well. And that's that perfect balance. And I think that's what men are missing, and when that's lacking, they're usually finding in gangs. They're finding in negativity, and we have to promote something. Listen, they're out there, so that's why I was telling the brothers in the meeting that this idea, we got to start promoting it, man. We have to be the new kids in the block, new cool kids, what the young kids are looking up to. Man, what is man going God's way? Because we're righteous, but we so cool being righteous, people want to be us. We're the salt of the world, folks. We're the salt. We make the trends. We make things happen. So I want to use that energy and for positivity, because the devil is using it for negativity. What say you? Brother Amber.
May I jump in? I'm sorry.
Brother Judah,
Go ahead,
yeah,
brother.
you could jump anytime because anytime they're gonna cut you off. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
Right? Yeah. Right. So it's like this here. I agree with what my brother said earlier and what you said. Basically, because I would classify myself as a Sigma male. I've been doing a lot of research on that, watching a lot of YouTube videos on it. I'm like, man, that sounds like me. That's weird. I don't really like I said, I stay to myself everywhere I go for the most part. It's just me, but it's not just me, if you kind of understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I feel that, no, I ain't gonna say I feel. When you look at a warrior, man, we're all warriors, bro. We're Israel. We're all warriors. You know what I mean? But predominantly Judah, though. Benjamin, Levi. But since we're talking about, Israel as a whole, we're all warriors. But when you have no discipline and you are a warrior, that equates to being a savage. A savage. But when you have discipline and intelligence.
I got another saying. What was the other one? For the man to live, the thug must die. I got another one. A soldier without discipline is just simply a savage.
Hello.
Huh?
Truly believe that.
If you have no discipline, you're just a savage. You're just a thug.
Savage. And there's another word for it, Gabar. Can I piggyback off of that, please?
Please.
Let's go back about 1,000 years. How about a barbarian?
Exactly.
Therefore, that person is barbaric.
Barbaric.
Right?
We got to bring
a barbarian.
And that's what I'm saying. We got to bring back the stoic, righteous man. I grew up with the Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger was, stoic, stood for justice. And guess what, folks? A lot of people don't even know this, and I can prove it. The Lone Ranger is based on a black man.
That's me.
Look it up. The Lone Ranger is based on he's a Judah brother. He was a ranger, and he broke records on many people, criminals. He caught back, and he was the guy. And he had a friend who was a Native American that used to help him, and that's what they got the idea with the Lone Rangers. But that image of a stoic, righteous man and all that, and the sheriff, and I want to hear your opinion. I'm seeing what's going out in with the police brutality. Even now, our brothers, man, killing brothers. Used to get used to just. The white guy killing another brother, another Mexican, another whatever, brutalizing this. We expect all races. And I remember I used to say, black people need to police black people. Hispanic people need to, police Hispanic people. And we will do that. That will eliminate cop violence. Police brutality. But we just, 7 cops, brothers, just got arrested for killing a brother. Right? So sometimes I feel, should people like us go into the police force? Should men going God's way promote brothers, righteous brothers, signing up for the police force, or we should just get out of our way? I don't know the answer to that. What say you guys?
Brother Amir, you want to go in or?
And there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So, that's honestly a tough question, but I will say this: the reason why those brothers are acting like that is mainly because the leadership. They didn't learn it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Someone had to teach it to them.
Yeah.
So it starts at the top.
Yeah.
And imagine if we did have a brother who was following men going God's way at the top, he would not be treating that.
Exactly. So
like
that's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I feel, we should just get out of the way, or we should get involved. But I don't know. And sometimes, we do need righteous cops, black and white. And I believe God and believing in God and having that true essence as a Christian, as a man that believes in God. You want to, you know what? You want to solve police brutality? Hire more Christians. Hire more Bible believers. Let's put that at 10. Let's do that for 10 years, see how that runs. I don't know. I could be wrong. Brother Judah, what you got to add to this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I would take it a step further. I believe what's going on, the phenomenon that's going on within men going God's way, it is an ancient phenomenon that is brewing right now as we speak. And it's an honor to be a part of it because I think that it's Ezekiel 37. And I think in order for Ezekiel 37, that great army, to come about, the weak must be rooted out, the matriarchy must be destroyed, religion must be eradicated, and white supremacy must be suppressed. And this is not a shot, you know, and it's another thing that's a part of our trauma also. God forbid Judah say white. God forbid he say white person. And that's how simple people are. You can't even say that.
Yeah.
I can't even say white person without most people thinking, oh, he about to go. No, listen. Stop being a kid.
Yeah.
It's like this. White supremacy is an issue because I'm from a place in which they let you know that you are at the bottom and that they are on the top. They let you know that they're better than you. But then I look in Deuteronomy 7:6, and God himself says, "For thou art an holy people, a chosen people, a special people above all people that are upon the face of this earth." And I scratch my head when I look at Israelite brothers.
Brother Judah, so he'll call back. He'll pick it up right he left off. But let me ask you another question, Brother Embry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think is that something
we should?
Maybe if in the future, and Brother Judah, I'm going to bring you in a second. Maybe in the future, men going God's way, we should maybe promote that. Once we get established, we should start promoting even within the police force. Maybe our energy will rub on them. I don't know, and maybe that's the way we could help. We'll talk about this in our meetings, and you know, after we get other stuff in order and so forth, so on. But Brother Judah, I know you wanted to say some things, and I know they're cutting you off. So you were saying.
Yes, sir. And yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I truly believe that it's Ezekiel 37 all over again. I mean, not all over again. It's literally the valley of the dry bones, that great and exceedingly mighty army that the Most High, that Ezekiel saw.
Yeah.
I believe that this is the beginning stages of it, man. Because in order for that to happen, men have to stand up to women. You have to stand up to matriarchy and put your foot down. You got to stand up to white supremacy and put your foot down. You got to stand up to religion and put your foot down, because all religion is paganism. And that's just that.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
truth, peace, love, and respect is what we need. Because without truth, none of it works. Without truth, you can't tell yourself the truth that you are feminine as a man.
Yeah.
Without truth, you can't tell your woman that you.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Finish your thought, brother, because you know I want to.
No, sir. Please go in. I know you got to go in.
It's like a lot of brothers, well, a lot of sisters and brothers may think that I'm being harsh on the women by telling the brothers, if you have your woman who doesn't respect you, leave her. Do not deal with that. You have a woman who's destroying your ego, who's it's making you feel like dirt. Get out of that situation. You don't owe her nothing. And I'm trying to save brothers before they get married and kids, because me personally, I cannot separate family. It breaks my heart. But it also breaks my heart when a brother is stuck in a family that he does not controls. He's stuck in a family that he built, that he's not leading. That he's stuck in a family that he actually put his whole energy in, and he doesn't get respect at home. I sympathize with those brothers, because, you know, people call me Elder Gabar, blah, blah, blah. But I am not that righteous. I will leave my wife and kids if I'm in that situation. I got to be in control of my household. And those people understand that, hey, I'm happy-go-lucky. I want to hear your opinion, and I want to hear your disagreements. But ultimately, it's understood that I'm in control of the household. There are brothers that are out there that are not, never mind 50-50. They're not even getting 50-50. They're being totally ruled and controlled by these women. And my heart goes out to them. And this is what I'm trying to prevent. I'm a male advocate. Because there is no male advocate. We're the image of God. We're the people that society has to focus on and make sure they're being guided correctly. Not start after the kid went to jail, after he's a man and got bodies and all kinds of criminalities in their life. You're trying to help them. No, you got to start early, young. The male is our most natural resources. Men build this world. Men are always doing the brave things, the dangerous things to pioneer, to take humanity to the next level. Men are the most important resources in the world, and look how we're treating them in America.
Brother Gabar.
You were saying?
I've got a precept to go along with what that. You mind if I read this real quick? This quick precept.
Yes, sir.
All right. Excuse me. The book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, in the Apocrypha, chapter 33, verses 19 through 20b. All right. Verse 19. Listen to me, leaders of the people, rulers of the congregation. Pay heed. Let neither son.
Oh, Brother Judah, he'll call back. And let me also say this about brothers that are stuck with unrespected wives. And I can't ever tell a brother to leave his household if he has kids that he created. You should stick it out until they're out the house. But if they're out the house and they're already grown, and your wife and you stuck around for many years, but your wife was always disrespecting you, but you stuck around for the kids, brother. And I'm gonna say this. If your wife never respected you, and you did your duty as a father, and your kids is out the house and they're successful, you divorce that woman and live the rest of your life in peace. And find a woman that will respect you and love you. That's my recommendation, Brother Judah, you were saying.
Yes, sir. And yeah, on that, what I was saying earlier, gosh, you made so many points. Lord, let me see, where was I at? Okay, yes, sir. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, verses 19, before the men in black cut me off. Verse 19. Listen to me, leaders of the people, rulers of the congregation, pay heed. Exclamation point at the end of it. Pay heed. Let neither son nor wife, neither brother.
Brother Judah, you're killing me. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me see if I. Brother Judah, we're gonna work it out. We're gonna. I'm gonna change my phone. You're gonna change your phone, and we're gonna work it out, brother. But let's have this discussion about the dating scene. Brother Emery, we could talk, right? We're both men, and you're old enough. I'm old enough to be your father. I'm 50, you're 22, right? I have a daughter your age. My God, Rebecca, she's 22. My God, it's amazing. So how's the dating? How was high school?
Okay, so high school.
Yeah.
Like for me personally.
Yeah. How was that experience? Because that was so long ago for me. You understand? We talking about Karate Kid. We talking about Back to the Future. I'm an 80s kid, 70s kid. So high school is so long ago. You know, I've been out of high school longer than you've been alive. So I just want to know what's different. Like, how was high school?
So for me, high school, I would say it was normal, and it's kind of a little bit hard to answer because I was definitely a different person in high school than I was now.
Okay.
I was way more introverted. I was way more to myself, especially in high school. But I would say in high school, uh let's see. I don't know. Give me an example of like
So
how
okay.
high school
So
was for
what
you.
I remember
And then
high
I'll
school. You know, when I was a kid, you know, high school movies was big, right? So, what was your big high school movie? Did you like high school movies? Did you ever saw some? Are you into them? Like for me, high school movies. We talking about. And hold on 2 seconds. I think I see someone else coming in. Brother, I believe that's Brother Darrow. Let's see if we could get him in here.
Oh, what's up?
Let me see if we could get him in here. Wait a minute. So we got him.
Oh crap! Bags them on.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, you don't have your camera on, but okay. I think I see Brother Darrow. That's you.
Brother Darrell's here.
Okay, peace, brother. What's going on, brother? So, how we doing? What you got to add to this conversation? So, I was actually Emery, and brother Darrow. I want to hear your thoughts. How was high school? I remember high school. I'm talking about, you know, Back to the Future, high school. And, you know, when I was coming up, it was mostly high school from small America, right? It was always, you know, you had the high school jock. All the girls liked him. You got the nerds. You had the comedians. You had the druggies. You know, that's what I remember growing up in high school. Now, in my experience, I grew up in a bad neighborhood. So, like, you know, I don't remember you can't, like, the nerds had to be tough because either you're a nerd, you get beat up. Like everybody was, I grew up a bunch of knuckleheads. I don't know. I don't remember all, you know, the jocks and the nerd. So I'm wondering, Brother Emery, what was your experience, or is that something that Hollywood created? Like, do you remember, like the high school jock? Do you remember who was like the comedian in the classroom? Were you the comedian? Like, what was your experience in high school?
Okay. Yeah. So for me personally, my experience in high school, I didn't really see anybody like beating like nerds up or anything. Honestly, I would say everybody kind of got along with each other, whether they were, because it was one of those things like even if you were a jock, but maybe you played video games, so you would talk to the nerd kid,
right?
You guys would connect on that. It was just not much division and that kind of thing. Or maybe you're the nerd kid who does drugs, so you would fit in different categories. That's kind of how my experience was. I was just able to talk to any group.
Okay. So, you grew up in a biracial school? Was it like a thing, black and white, Hispanic, mostly black, mostly Hispanic? What was the ethnic background of the kids?
Yeah, so in the first part of high school, like my 9th and 10th year, at least half of my 10th, it was in like predominantly minority schools, so black and Hispanic.
Okay.
And then towards the end of my high school year, it was more in a predominantly white, more richer area with way better resources than my old school.
Okay.
And I would say definitely in the more minority school was a lot of, definitely the education wasn't as great compared to the one I had.
Right.
And it was just more jokes and games and comedy. Not everybody took it serious.
Do you And I think you probably, I was having this conversation with my daughter that you guys, the millennials, right?
Gen Z.
Zs are probably the last generation that didn't have to deal with these transgender questions. And like, for instance, was they gay kids in school?
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
were they like, you get what I'm saying? Like, because they're making seem like gay people are being oppressed in high school, and
No,
they
definitely not.
they being bullied, and and I haven't been in high school for a while, but I remember there was a gay kid. He was a Spanish kid. Everybody, he always hang out with the girls. He was feminine. Everybody, nobody bothered him.
Exactly.
And he got along with a lot of the other tough kids. They used to call him little girl, anything. And then, I was with your dad last night or some crazy, and they moved on. It was just.
Yeah.
It's just, so I'm wondering, and like you are like my inside man. It's like, you get what I'm saying? And kids even younger than you, 18, 17, 16. Now, I wonder if they're going through what you just barely miss. I wonder what's going on in high school today, because I told this to my wife. I'm so glad Rebecca's is not in high school, that she's beyond that, because I will go crazy if I'm hearing these transgender books about, I don't know if you guys, seen these things, but I covered these things on the previous shows, that they're talking about lubrication and proper lubrication for sex partners to kindergarten. First graders and second graders and things of that nature. I think I would be in jail. I think I would just take my daughter out of school. But sometimes it's hard, because you're dealing with, sometimes you need two incomes. So sometimes you raise a family. It's extremely hard. I would be going crazy. So I just wanted to kind of pick your brains. I was just curious, how was high school? Was it more different than did I remember it? And you know what? To be honest with you, man, high school is high school. High school is not that bad.
Yeah,
it could be better.
Definitely.
It could be better. I think the more funding has to be given. Brother Dad, you were saying?
Yeah, high school's not that bad. Even when I was there, I was born in '85.
Yeah. Okay. So what was your experience?
Well, one thing you touched on that was very important, especially for me, is teaching young men in their youth, because who you are, especially if you're going with the same group, being transitioned from multiple elementary schools to middle school and high school, I saw a lot of the same people through all those grade schools going through. So when you focus in some of those masculine traits and all that, before I was even middle school, my parents had me in karate.
Right.
Even in the younger grade schools and all that, had a situation where girl lied on the situation and had her brother and her friends jump me and my brother. But that reputation, knowing how to take a hit and be able to take out more than numbers of inexperienced individuals, kind of led through to where I didn't have friends. I just had one person I stuck with throughout all that grade school, could really care less about everything else, and then finding ways to focus and challenge myself, especially with anger, into wrestling, weight training, which pushed me into military college.
Gotcha. So let me ask you a question, guys. Let me ask you a question. If men going God's way, we get big and famous, we got millions of dollars, and we're going to start our own charter school for boys, what will you suggest? And you sit in the board members, and they're asking you what curriculum, what you think your experience could have been, better in high school, what you think, boys need. And we could deal with the girls in a minute, but I just want particularly on the boys. If we had control of our own school, what will you implement in these schools?
Well,
what will be implemented? We will implement it. Other people won't.
Well, the school system is meant to fracture people the further along you're into it. So focus on core structure, language skills, more than just one. How many of our brothers, they have that macho mentality, but they can't put basic sentence structures together. You see that within how they text message and how they communicate.
Yeah.
They've lost that communication. Therefore, they're not respected when it comes to using their words in conversations, and especially in the business level. They don't prepare them for business. Mathematics skills, you have to learn how to deal with money, economics, basic structure.
Yeah. So if I would have been in that, I would say I would have constitutional classes. When I was 18, I didn't know my constitutional rights. I didn't know the history of the importance of the Constitution, of the 52 states and how, right? Politics, I think that I would learn economics, definitely economics. I would throw economics there. You know, and your basic stuff, history, English, you know, science. But this is what I would do. And I think because if we will have a nonprofit organization, we will start our own school, I think we will have to present the kids both theories, evolution and the theory of creation, and let them decide. That's how I would do it. Anything else?
A lot of evolution was stolen from creation.
Right. But what I'm saying, if in this world, we may have to have both theories, but I believe that if you present both theories scientifically, the theory of creation will win hands down anyway. So there you go. So Brother Judah, if Men Going God's Way had their own school, what curriculum you would implement?
I mean, it's like this, Brother Gabar. It's simple. Well, it's not that simple. I would implement God's law, man, and I'm gonna scream that. I'm gonna tell you why, because people are so arrogant and prideful, and everybody think they know everything, and nobody is afraid of God. Nobody is afraid of what happens when you die. So what I'm trying to tell you is, like, this is what I would do. Like with my son, if I bring another child into this earth right now, because I have a grandson, you know, if I bring another child into this earth right now, or if I were to raise my grandchild, he wouldn't know what pork tastes like.
Hey, Brother Judah.
Yeah.
Hey, Brother Judah, I'm going to see if you could come in through Zoom. I'm going to send you the link and call the Zoom number and see how that works. What he's calling back. But
Yeah, so I'm going to bounce off of Judah. I
Okay.
agree. I was actually going to say the same thing. Definitely add the Bible into it.
Throw
The
the
Bible, yeah, the Bible has to be in it.
Okay.
And for me, I would say definitely every child it doesn't matter. You have to be in a sport and you have to do weight training.
So sports and weight training. Okay.
Yes.
And Brother Judah.
And Brother Gabar, can I finish my point on that?
Yes, you are. And what I'm going to do is, if it happens again, I just forward you on the Zoom, and you could call Zoom through the internet, or there's a number and an extension. So there's a different number. You can maybe see if calling through Zoom will help. I just emailed you the link.
Yeah.
All right. Just in case.
Okay.
You were saying.
Me, Brother Judah, Brother Gabar. That's you referring to?
Yeah, Brother Judah, you were saying.
Yes, sir. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So what I was saying was, oh Lord, see they throw me off track when they do that to me. Okay, so yeah, what I was saying is this: my grandson wouldn't know what pork tastes like. He wouldn't walk around with a Christian cross on his neck. If I kill somebody with a 9mm, one of my cousins got shot down, I'm not about to wear the gun that he was killed with on a necklace. That's retarded. We're not going to be celebrating Sunday worship or none of that. We got to get it straight at the house first. So we can implement all the laws.
We will be able to, because we will be a private charter school, a private religious charter school. Yeah. For boys.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So I would say the law. Yes, sir. I would say the law. Implement the law and the importance of fearing God. Number one.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but these are the conversations we have to start having in secret conversations, because it's very easy. It's not that important to start a charter school, fundraising, a private, and to help young boys, and we could, and we have plenty of them. You know where they're at? in the foster homes.
Penitentiary.
The foster homes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So but go ahead, because I'm a dreamer. I start thinking out loud and because I'm a problem solver. You understand? It's in my DNA to fix the problem. But go ahead, Brother Judah. I know you want to ask something.
Yeah. All right. So let me see. God's law, but I'm not talking about Christianity or Catholicism,
right?
Or Hinduism or Buddhism or any of this traditional Christian crap, because it is all paganism. Every part of it. And I'm looking for these little jokers sneaking up around us.
Yeah.
That's still fully
Because
associated with
what,
Christianity,
man?
paganism.
You know what?
Come on.
Somebody, let me see if Google will answer this question. Hey, Google, how many children are in the foster system in America?
15,016. On the website ocfs.ny.gov, they say, the number of children in foster care in New York State has decreased from 53,902 children in 1995 to 15,016 as of December 31st, 2020.
Good Lord. It's a generation of kids, man.
I think that's a good place to start, the foster home.
Yeah, man.
And all these inner cities with the young men who have single mothers, I think they're good too.
Yeah, man. That's right, man. My wife and I, we talk about all the time we should adopt, and it's just so many kids, man. And this is the result of booty shaking videos. This is the result of men and ish, women and ish. This is the sort of like thug life for life. This is the result of that culture, man. So my attention or my energy to go God's way, man going God's way, is to create another cool fad, another culture, whatever. That's why I want you brothers to be your best, look your best, hit the gym, go work out, get a second job, start a side business, read books, get yourself better, get yourself smarter, take courses, go back to college, become your best self, so that we could come together, man going God's way, and be the next examples. We want to replace the attraction of the thug life to the righteous life. How do we do it? I can't do this alone. I need your help. We need to come together as brothers, man. Because we just heard the numbers, man. Thousands of kids are being born. Thousands. We got to do something to change the tide. Be a big brother to a kid that comes from a single mother home. I don't know. I sometimes it breaks my heart, man, to see the condition of our people, man, and we got to do something, man. It just breaks my heart, man. But Brother Jude, you wanted to add something?
Brother Gabar, can I jump in real quick on that? Can I try to finish that last little point there too?
Go ahead, brother.
Try to answer that question.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So, and what I'm saying is, everything that we've tried before, when I say we, I'm referring to mankind, it hasn't worked. You know what I mean? And we all know, like you said it several times before, Brother Gabar, doing the same thing over and over again is literally the definition of insanity.
Yeah,
why would we do the same thing over? Right, yeah. So your approach, I am 100% with it because it's different. And so what I was saying is implementing the law of God, because God made the sun, the moon, the stars, the sky, the heavens, the earth, the trees, and everything else. Who knows more than him? So let's instill what he says into the children at a young age, like it says in Proverbs.
Yeah.
Like it says in Proverbs 22:6. Train a child up in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So we got to get them like as babies almost.
Yeah.
Because when they go into these foster centers or these schools or whatever, they're being indoctrinated with lies, man. And then they become confused.
Yeah.
And then they're being poisoned with
and molested.
GMO foods.
The
neglected,
molested. And molested. Molesters, people that are pedophiles are attracted to positions that you have to work around children. And the study shows that a lot of pedophilia people that get molested are people like coaches, social workers, babysitters, family friend, and also these foster home agencies. So we it's sad, man, because it's like they serving those kids to Moloch, man. It's breaks my heart, man. Okay, Judah, go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah, that was it for the most part, Brother Gabor. I mean, I don't know, man. Just get the kids and get the law of God. That's all I'm saying, because
But Brother
without
Judah,
wisdom,
what
we
I'm going to
all
do,
fail.
listen, when I do the show, I'm going to send you the link and try to come in through Zoom, see if that works. So every time we start a show, I know you could try to call in through that way, and people could, be able to hear you, because if I'm going through Zoom, so if somebody calls from Zoom, or if you call, I want you to be able to hear the brothers from Zoom, and that's the reason why I'm doing it this way. But thank you, Brother Judah, for sharing, brother. And if you want to come back and try the Zoom method, you're more than welcome, because then you could probably be, you'll be in.
Okay, I'm just gonna cool out. I'm watching, and shalom. Thanks, Brother Gabor.
Shalom. There it is, Brother Judah in the house, bringing wisdom. All right.
I'd like to add on to some of these points.
Please.
One thing we see with our examples of the past, the patriarchs, they had the understanding of the laws of God. That was a basis of everything that was built upon.
Yeah.
They were learned as they got older. They had decisions to make, good and bad, which you read about with how they dealt with one of their brothers.
Yeah.
And we have examples such as David with Saul and others, or Joseph with his brethren, where these were men that knew how to fight. Even in their youth, David took on large animals bigger than him. They knew how to fight from their youth. They knew how, in a situation where they can hold their own, and or show mercy unto the person that was below their power.
Yeah.
And that within confidence in the laws of God. So one thing we need to go back to is within their young youth, we got to teach them to where, as early as they can remember, they know how to take a hit. It just may be a little boxing glove here and there with the boy and all that, but that way they're accustomed to it, to fighting, being able to hold their own, and that builds on over time in their confidence and their masculinity, being of righteous, holding on to the laws of God.
Yeah, because a lot of people might be saying, these guys talking about this machismo, learn how to fight, but Billy doesn't want to know how to fight, then you should just allow him to just, be himself. Okay, let me explain to you guys what's going on. My father, genetically, this is science, you guys can look it up, his testosterone was higher than mine. And his father's testosterone was stronger than my father. And my grandfather's testosterone was stronger than his father. And the reason why is because the further back you go, the harder life is. Back in the days, you didn't hunt, you didn't eat. If back in the days, you couldn't call the police for self-defense. You got to defend, the village, war, military. You wasn't behind a big, humongous tank throwing bombs. You was running up to the enemy with a dagger. So our fight or flight, our fight or flight, molecules was always in alert. So our testosterone had to be more. Hard men make hard times easy. Easy times make hard men soft.
Yes.
So what we're telling you, young men, you have never, as a species, has lived as comfortable as you live right now. Oh, you got a bed? Oh, you think you're suffering and you got, a refrigerator? You think you're suffering and you got a fridge with food in it, air conditioning? You don't know. And guess what, folks? We in a part of the world, America, that has these luxuries that you go to like Bangladesh and these other countries, they're still riding mules. So we're privileged. That's why we have to get hard.
Yeah.
Because our culture, listen, back in the days, my dad never worked out, but he always looked stocky because he was a farmer. He was a worker. He was always lifting stuff. His father was always in the field. My uncle had 6-packs in his 60s. Are you feeling me, guys? And the more technology makes our life easier, the more we have to just make sure we let me not get too comfortable. Every man should feel these two feelings. And I want to know you guys if you guys felt these two feelings. Doing something, your muscle burning that you cannot do one more lift, one more exercise, or running so fast that when you stop, your chest feels like it's beating out of your shirt. That you guys ever felt that feeling?
Yeah, I definitely felt that with in terms of weight training, because
Okay.
you're going till failure.
Okay.
So I've definitely have felt that. In terms of running so fast that my heart starts beating, no, I haven't went that
Try
hard.
that. Is it an orgasmic, life-changing event? I remember when I was a kid, there was a block that if you walk in that block, you had street dogs. They should chase you. And dude, if you're not fast enough, they'll catch you. And in my stupid but dumb butt used to go and be a bet with my brother, see, the dogs. And there was one time I was running and I was getting so tired that I could feel the breath of the dog behind my leg. I was like 11 years old. And dude, I never run so and when I stopped, I felt like I was just gonna die. But it's a very good feeling though. But what I'm saying, there's a generation of kids that are growing up never feeling that. Being pampered. No, Billy, no. And what I'm saying is it's not good for man. A man gotta struggle just a little bit. Just a little bit. Trauma, just a little bit. Because that makes you stronger. If you pamper too much, if you baby too much, you're not gonna survive on your own. And so this is not about being macho. This is me being a 50-year-old man and looking at my species and what's happening to it. And it hits an extra blow when you bring in the biblical component in the mix. God chosen people in our conditions. It's sad. And that's the reason why I started going God's way. And hopefully we could start this thing and grow, and this thing grows, and we changing man's life and guide him in the right direction. We become a force for good. Who knows? They'll probably get rid of me like they got rid of Andrew Tate. We'll all see what happened with Andrew Tate. We need to talk about this. This is heavy, man. If Andrew Tate is innocent and the conspiracy theories are right, that big tech and the deep state called Romania and put pressure on them to arrest Andrew Tate, and they're getting, and deep state is getting away with it. The rumor is also big tech And the rumor is that Andrew Tate is a threat because he is creating an army of men, of alpha males. So, this is my theory, guys. I think if we put our best effort, we could grow and be next level than Andrew Tate. More dangerous than Andrew Tate. Because all due respect to Brother Andrew Tate, what they got on him is something that he probably is past is coming to haunt him. Because the rumor is this is old employees because Andrew Tate stopped doing OnlyFans. Everybody knows this, that Andrew Tate got rich. He was, we all know the story. He was a kickboxer. After that, he became a champion. He wanted to retire and start making new money. He had different girlfriends. He called them to a room and said, "Hey, let's start on OnlyFans." He invited 5, only 2 stood, and then he got more women, and he became a millionaire. Then he opened up a casino. But he let the OnlyFans goes because this is what he said. He said that business, although it brought me money, it brought in the female component, and that's always dangerous. This is what he says when you're working with all these women. And he said that, you know what, I'm a man of God. I changed. I don't want to do that anymore, right? He converted to Islam, and it broke my heart, man, when I saw there was a roundtable discussion in Dubai, and all the friends that were Andrew Tate's, Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, and others were having like a roundtable discussion. There was 2 gentlemen, and they were in Dubai. They were both Muslims, and Muslim got such a praise. I was jealous because they even made fun of, like, the difference between Islam and Christianity is that we don't negotiate. We strict in our rules. He said, you could have transvestite preacher in America. And they were right. There could be a transvestite preacher come up and said, I'm a pastor, and America will allow it, right? And yeah, this is the country of the free. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression. I'm with that. I'm a libertarian at heart. But when you create too much freedom, and when you're in a situation that you're promoting degrading, before we think about whether we should give women the rights to show their breasts in the beach. There's a thing in New York. I don't know if you guys know this. In New York, a woman could be topless legally. They pass a law. Now, often, you don't see women topless in New York. Because it was like about maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, there was some liberal lesbians that wanted to have the same right. They felt that a man could be in the beach topless, and he does not, be told to put a shirt. Why should a woman be topless? I don't know if that's a thing in your states, but that's a thing in New York City. So technically, a woman could walk around topless. You don't ever see that, but technically, they passed the law. I don't know if they passed in your state, but this is what happens. Before we start talking about giving the rights to a woman to be topless, we should focus on the scientific proven data that when you sexualize women, you damage them for the rest of their life. When you sexualize women, all the studies has come out. When women start seeing women, older girls dressing with, poo-poo shorts and and they start getting all the attention of the boys. That damaged them. So see, just because I could, this is a man's show, and this is a man for man by man, it does not mean I could point out what's going on with the sisters. How they're getting damaged. That's why I tell sisters, stop with the, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you should not ever be working on with tight jeans. No man should ever see your cleavage. Cover your body. And that day, I was embarrassed for Christians. I was embarrassed, like, this is the reputation that, the Bible has. Because what do you have with the Christendom? And I know I'm going rambling, but I want you to hear me out. What is the stratosphere? The Bible, right? You got Catholics, you got Methodists, Pentecostals, you got Israelites, right? They believe in the Bible, right? So you either have beta male pastors, female churches run by females, or Israelites, the racists. That it was out there. That's you get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying not all Israelite churches are racist. I came from a church, the Gathering Christ Church. They were not racist. They accept all races. That's how me and Brother Darrell met. But that's what it's like, what you hear first when you say that word. If you line up 20 people, random people, and you say, what do you think about the Israelite? What do you think will come out of their mind? Anybody. If
they hate Jewish people.
Hate Jewish people, right? What do you think they will say about Christians? What do you think about Christians? What do you think the average person will say about people that believe in the Bible, so-called?
They love and accept everybody.
What else? I will say,
emotionally unstable.
I think religious people are crazy. I mean, I was thinking the other day, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in a Pentecostal church, my dude. This was speaking in tongues. You understand? And I was like, thinking back, it was like, I know for sure, beyond any reasonable doubt, according to the scripture, that is not the Holy Spirit. Right? You could never convince me that these people speaking in tongues are receiving the Holy Spirit. But they are so delusional in their mind. And it's called peer pressure. Right? Everybody has to, you're not catching the Holy Spirit, so you feel, oh my God, I gotta do something. There's a scientific term for that. I forgot what it is. It's not peer pressure, but it's similar to peer pressure. It's constant distance. It's like everybody's doing the same thing out of pressure, but nobody's telling each other that they're all making it all up. That makes sense? Like you're making believe that you're catching tongues, and I see you doing that, so I gotta catch tongues because I don't want you to be the only one catching tongues. It's on their mind. And that is the legacy of this great book called the Bible. And sometimes I get angry to say, we need something better. And I think man going God's way, hopefully, could be one of the things that could turn this thing around. Because the Bible doesn't have a good reputation these days. And that's the word of God. And the way we're behaving as men, we're not doing it justice. And I want to do justice. Brother Emery, you want to say something? Oh, Brother Darrell.
Yeah, Christianity definitely has a viewpoint of compromising. Of you don't see any kind of retribution for actions that they do. It's, oh well, he's our pastor, we forgive him, and never dealing with the victim themselves
Yeah.
to bring resolution.
Yeah.
So it's constantly compromising, shuffling things under the rug.
Yeah.
You got people being emotionally unstable.
Yeah.
Women getting up on the pulpit, all that, screaming all kinds of madness to the point of we love everybody and we're willing to compromise at every corner of what we're dealing with and believe in,
Yeah.
just to be inclusive and accepting. It's no wonder why the LGBTQ movement went mad with all that, because they forced themselves to a point of including everything by compromising everything.
Yeah, and I gotta say this: the church went off in many ways, but when it really began to go to the beginning of the end is when they allowed women pastors. I gotta say it, women pastors. That's fine. When we allow women in leadership position, and I know what women are about to say. Well, us women, we had to get in the leadership position because there were no good men. That's a lie. That was never the reason why women fought. And I got the receipt. I would love for any women pastor to challenge me on this. The women being pastor came from the civil rights movement, and I could prove it. Let me explain. When you had churches, they began to receive federal funds, right? So if you receive federal funds to run a homeless shelter or to a food bank, whatever, right? You get aid from the government. You cannot discriminate. So what happened is that a woman, they wanted to be a pastor, began to sue the church and the government for discriminating against her rights. I got the receipts in the 60s. So once she won that and it became a thing that if you discriminate against women, you cannot get government aid because of discrimination. That's the fight that the Roman Catholic Church is having back and forth with abortion clinics and all that in their hospitals. They get exempt from that, but every year it becomes a thing. Because if you go to a hospital and they discriminate against your, because you want birth controls and they don't, because of the religious belief, it's a federal thing. So what went wrong? When the federal government, when the woman used the federal government against the church, that's when things began trickling down. We allow this, then we could allow gays, we could allow that, we could allow, because women deal with mercy, passion, understanding, and that's great, but it first must be established order, righteousness, and judgment. And that comes from men. They remove men, and now they're in these leadership positions. And I know I'm hard on you women, and I am. But it comes from a place of love. I know I'm hard on you brothers, and I am, but it comes from a place of love. This is my brick. This is what I could do. Engage in this show, this conversation with you brothers, and hope some sisters are listening. And maybe we could make sense of this, and we could, stop the next generation, build something great, build something worth fighting for. And I believe is men going God's way. Brother Embry, any last words you want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I definitely agree with you and Daryl. The thing that definitely Christianity is missing is just that standard, that structure, that no compromise. No matter
Yeah.
what, we're not compromising on that.
Yeah.
And as far as I've seen outside looking in, Islam, they have that kind of thing where there's just no compromise on certain things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, we need to, like you said, men going God's way is a way for us to combat that, and to be able to have something, and even then give maybe other Christian young men who don't know about this information something like, wow, I'm a Christian. Like, I think you said it in one of your live streams, I like what Andrew Tate preaches,
Yeah.
but I'm a Christian, so I'm certain things I'm not gonna do.
You can't do. Yeah.
But
you
if
can't.
you
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you ran into one of us in Men Going God's Way, or we talked to him and showed him Men Going God's Way, and he would just join our organization and keep spreading the gospel.
Yeah, exactly. It would be, and we could look cool. We could promote positivity. We could, get some sponsors and some colognes and some shoes and, to promote Man Going God's Way. I'm all for that. We look cool. You could maybe be the next, you could start your own podcast for the young folks, because you could probably relate to young people that in ways that I could probably not, relate to, and things of that nature. And we could promote this positivity because we need to make celebrities out of righteousness.
And imagine that if we had celebrities in Men Going God's Way.
Exactly. So this is what I'm trying to, start, and I'm excited, man. I'm kind of excited because I feel like it's like a new beginning. That excitement and that zeal, and I'm appreciative you guys even showed up in the meeting. Sometimes you throw that net and see you want to be a fisher of men, but sometimes the net comes out back empty. So I appreciate that. A lot of you guys came in on the meetings, and it was a good introduction. I got a lot of things coming down the pipe. So I'm excited about that. So I just want to continue growing. So let's promote it. If you guys want to, come to the next meeting of Man Going God's Way, please send an email to IAMFITPodcast@gmail.com. Send me an email. We're going to talk. You can meet the folks. We'll check you out, and then we'll rock with you. We'll build you up. We can meet you as you are, but you're not staying as you are. We're going to build you up. Okay, we're gonna help you out. We're gonna network with you. We're gonna pray with you. We're gonna do the right thing. So please, send an email for that. So, brother, any last words before we end the show? Thank you for having this panel, this conversation with us. I do appreciate you guys lending me your time. So, any last words, brother Embry and brother Daryl?
Yeah. Previous conversation with us of going back to multiple wives, to monogamy. And then a lot of this is not the sister's fault. This is the outcome of a calculated progression from the 1920s, moving into psychology and government funding after World War I, then breaking down the family structure and marriage counseling children, and then forcing that into the churches into the 60s, where after that, after you destabilize the family structure to a point, now you're introducing to the churches, and then you see the women pastors coming out.
Yeah.
So a lot of this, it's been calculated over several generations.
Yeah.
And we need to backtrack this, and we need sisters just to step aside, let men be men, and then just follow after us where they see us going in righteousness, because there's 144 that I don't think is of our generation, but the next that we need to build up.
Yeah.
And we can't. And if you're going to try and hold us back, we're just going to walk away and let you be and move on, because we got bigger goals than you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, brother Daryl. You're always bringing great wisdom, a great asset. And then I'm gonna give you a call because I know your wife and you guys, you do some of the website design. I'm gonna There's a couple in California I was thinking about, but I'm in my mind. I want to, we'll work together and see, because we have to start promoting. I want us to promoting, to launch the website. I want to also, relaunch I Am Apparel. I would like to, by September, I know we talked about the 100 squats, 52 push-ups, 20 chin-ups, and 1 minute plank. My aim is by September. I'll be able to do that. I'm 50 years old, brother. Emery, what do you think? You can handle that?
Yeah, I'm working right now. I'm hitting the gym now.
Okay.
Ever since I heard about the program, I've been starting to hit the gym a little harder to be ready physically.
All I want to know, who's going to be the first one to get I Am Fit T-shirt, the earned. You get it for free. If you first of all, you can only be, to get this free T-shirt, you can only be a member of Man Going God's Way, and you got to do those 100 squats, 52 push-ups, 20 chin-ups, and a minute plank. Under 7 minutes is. I got the breakdown. I'm gonna come back. So if you want your free T-shirt, send me an email, IAMFITPodcast@gmail.com, and then we're gonna aim for September. Brother Darryl, what do you think? You think you'll be ready by September?
Well, I finish my school and get into this new job. I'll have definitely enough time to make sure that happens.
Well, this is my advice. This is what? Okay, so the chin-ups are going to be the hardest thing. Right?
Yes.
So keep your weight down. Work on your squat, 100 squats. So let's just say you start one day, okay, you're going to do 50, and you got to do 100 under 2 minutes. So every other day, try to do as much squats you could do under 2 minutes and build up to 100. Once your legs get strong and you could do that with a breeze, then everything else is going to be easier because your legs is your biggest muscle and it takes the most energy. So if you out of breath, your legs are shaking, doing 100, squats, and you got to try to do 51 push-ups, 52 push-ups under 2 minutes. That's going to kill you. So get rid of the squats. Try to alternate, each day, and then do the chin-ups separate. So when you first start, you may do the chin-ups. You may do 3 chin-ups. Then try to do 4 chin-ups, 5 chin-ups. Before you do it, you're doing 10. Easy. Try to do 12. Okay, easy. You got to make sure you keep your weight down. Because the heavier you are, the heavier you got to lift. So it's easy, man. It's easy. I think every man, like I said, every man should have a physical struggle or physical fitness regimen. I think this is the bare minimum. If you guys can handle this, I'm concerned. So September, I want to give out free T-shirts. I want to be proud of you. I want to be like, this is our first ever history. Man Going God's Way fitness champion. Let's do it. Let's do who's gonna be. So I hope to see you guys and win that. And Brother Darryl, like before I interrupt you again, any last words?
Great show. Thank you for the podcast and everything. And everybody be blessed.
All right. Thank you, Brother Darryl. This goes Brother Darryl. All praises. Brother Embry, what you got to add? Any last words, young man?
Thanks for the show. It's actually cool to be on this show. I watched pretty much all of the live streams. Always bringing out good, powerful information. I'm just taking it in.
Shout out to New Breed in the house.
Yes.
New Breed, because you actually found out about me and started watching me after you saw, I think, me being interviewed with Brother Umbri. So I'm gonna give a shout to Brother Ebro. If you don't know about New Breed, I'm gonna probably the link below. You don't want to do Brother Umbri? I'm gonna put you as a moderator. I'm gonna probably,
Oh,
so you
yeah.
can come in
For sure.
and all that good stuff. So just definitely check out. I'll put the link for brother New Breed's channel. It's a New Breed. What's his name? It's New Breed.
New Breed Global Truth.
New Breed Global Truth. There you go. Check him out. Like he's doing. He's approaching like 200,000 subscribers. Last time I checked, he was like 169, 170.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, he's up there. So I'm proud of him, man. Yeah. He's proud of him.
It is not easy preaching the truth and doing it good for YouTube.
Yeah,
he's great at that.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's real good. So check out his channel. He's definitely doing his thing. Also, Black Honor channel. I think he was on here. I know he came on. Absolutely, man. And that's what I want to do. I want to promote young positivity because, with all due respect to what's out there, the Polites, the Sinettas. I don't know if you follow these guys. These are black conscious people. These are the heroes. These are what the young men are looking for. We need to fight fire with fire. That's why I want you brothers to be your best. People follow success people. People don't follow people that are lonely and suppressed and broke and unsuccessful. So I want you guys to be successful. So then we could attract them and then fish them for Christ. That's the name, man, going God's way. All right, brothers, thank you for the show, man. I appreciate you guys joining me, and we'll talk soon.
All right, no problem. Have a good night.
Good night, good night. All praises, all praises. There you go. There goes the young brothers there. Thank you, brothers. Brother Judah. Brother Judah, I'm gonna be sending you the Zoom link and see if you could come into there and see if we could get rid of this issue because and you know what? I'm gonna try to change my phone. Maybe that's what it is, but it doesn't. It's the people on black are men on black are watching. But anyway, they ain't gonna stop us. So, men, be tough for the right reason. Be stubborn for the right reason. Be a man, a masculine man for the right reason. Leave that toxic alone. It's not good for you. So until next time, folks, may the Most High bless you and keep you. Shalom.